If you're a single man, relatively assertive, dealing with codependency issues in the middle of a divorce, visibly upset, even depressed, afraid of being alone, yearning for female companionship, dealing with feelings of abandonment and identity loss, it's the weirdest thing. Actually, it's tragic and disturbing, but my experience has taught me that if there's one community that is not so supportive of single males in their 40s, it's big box evangelical churches. What accounts for this cold, austere, downright judgmental attitude? Ironically or not, feminism. Some evangelical churches have adopted a punitive feminist approach towards single white men in their 40s. It's evident in the sermon application and injunctions to the congregation, where a pastor will generally point fingers, yeah, that's right, you guys, the middle-aged men struggling with pornography, because we all know women don't have that problem. Or for having affairs, because women naturally don't do that. Or for abandoning families, again, not women. It's men who are assumed to be the aggressors and betrayers in most cases. And where women don't fit that paradigm and in fact are the aggressors, well, it's still the man's fault because, well, he's supposed to be the head of the family, and therefore anything that goes wrong in the marriage, even if he didn't instigate it, somehow it's his responsibility. Women, after all, have been treated badly by patriarchal society, according to feminist theory, and are therefore to be handled with kid gloves, even when they are in error. Not so men. Anecdotal experience hardly passes scientific muster, I realize. But I think big box evangelical churches have sold men down the river. Ever since the 60s, the rubric that men are the aggressors has been the harrowing call of radical feminists. But now that women have basically caught up to men in every area of life, including pay parity, sexual aggression, porn addiction, vindictiveness, and the list goes on, it's incorrect, in my estimation, to view men through feminist-tainted glasses. Men, you see, can be victims of female abuse, manipulation, abandonment, and aggression just as much as women can, as Stats Canada data clearly reveals. And unless evangelicals realize this and treat both men and women with compassion, they will chase away more single males than they retain. For reasons that are too personal to share, I will say that I was attending a big box evangelical church recently, and I was looking for aid, comfort, and genuine community with people of faith, but astonishingly, I was told by the leadership that they weren't clear about my motives for coming out, and thus felt compelled to ask me to no longer attend a weekly recovery group or sit at the front of the church. I can only surmise that the leadership, all men, did not know how to treat me adequately as a man in need of comfort and support. Instead, I was subjected to listening ear but hands-off approach, unfulfilled promises, very poor follow-up, some finger-wagging, and a tone of suspicion about my quote-unquote real motives. All the while they're saying, but we're praying for you. Really? With comfort like that, well, I guess you get the point. So be warned, men. If you're a single man in your 40s and experiencing personal crisis, don't go rushing to one of those big box evangelical churches where the programs are packed and the service is slick and well orchestrated and the pews are full of single women. Chances are you're too much for those feminist-influenced pastors to handle. And in a world in which only women's suffering has credence, you'll be met with considerable amount of suspicion, resistance, and judgment. I'm Tristan Emanuel, and I make no apologies.